And I do 4-bet on table 1. I think I really look like a bluff here. I'm going to get bluff shoved over a lot of the time because players, they get sick of getting, he's 3-bet me a couple times now, and they get people, like, I've seen this time and time again, people get sick of, like, they just feel like they have to adjust. I have a pretty low 4-bet though, so whatever. Seemed to work, and now I'll note that he 3-bet me shortly after 3-betting me as a bluff. Because a lot of players won't do that. If they've just 3-bet as a bluff, they're not going to 3-bet again, and a lot of players will do it pretty much every single time. So, yeah, that's a good note to have, actually. And an easy note. Like, there's a lot of easy notes to take that you guys should be taking, like things like that, where, like just a player 3-bets you twice in a row after you fold to their first 3-bet, and then they fold to your 4-bet. It could be a really, really, like, vital kind of tell. Like a really, really important piece of information there, because if he 3-bets you again and you fold, and then he 3-bets you the next time, like there are players that will do that pretty much every time. Like their likelihood, their 3-bet percentage basically doubles after they 3-bet you and you fold, because they expect you to give them more credit, which generally is true. Table 3, I check back the flop, so obviously calling the calling the turn on that card, and now on the river, I think it's a really good card to just bomb and represent the missed flush on the flop. Just represent a bunch of missed draws, really. Yeah. I mean, if he's checking with the queen, he's not folding to any size, so just goes big for value, and we get owned. But yeah, I mean, if he check raised me, that was probably folding anyway, to be honest. And only fish check raises a bluff in those spots. Or weaker players, anyway. Just gonna. Oh, am I raising this turn? Yeah, I am. I don't think it's too bad, considering we're a tiny bit deeper. This is a pretty good river for me to bet now, though, as a bluff once I raise that turn. Yeah, and I don't think there's any. Yeah, just shoving. It's a really good spot. Like, I raised the turn there. Represent some sets that I slow played the flop with, and some club draws that I might have in my range. Raising there allows me to bluff clubs, yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a lot of kings, 10s, 9s, jacks, queens, all his overpairs, and some hearts. Although the hearts is not folded, the hearts that beat me are not folding unless like some suited kings or something. King 10 of hearts, he might. No, I think he folds on the 10, to be honest, or shoves. But yeah, I think I have to bluff shove now because I have a lot of ace-x in my range and clubs in my range and 6x in my range. So yeah, I have a lot more of those in my range than he does, and I have queen high, so time to bluff for sure in that spot. I really don't do a lot of turn raising, but yeah, let's look at this hand quickly. I really don't have a lot of turn raising in my game, to be honest. We're pretty much out of time, so I'll just quickly go over this hand. But yeah, when I do raise turns, it's for a couple of reasons. I don't think I have showdown value on the river, or I think that the player isn't following through with their bluffs enough on the river. So Malloyd, I think, is definitely following through on his bluffs on the river. So if he knew what I knew about him, he'd probably know this is a bluff most of the time, or a draw. Like pretty much exactly the hand I have versus him. Whereas a lot of other players, if I had like 5s, 2s, 3s, 7s, I would raise the turn here because I don't think they're following through on the river enough. So I just raise to get value from their overpairs and shove the river. But yeah, so I mean, in this spot, the reason why I'm raising is because I think I have some fold equity. I think he's going to barrel low boards versus me a decent amount of the time. And yeah, I don't have showdown value. If I call and he checks the river, I'm in a pretty gross spot where I've got queen high and I'll really want to bluff, but I think he's check calling sort of thing. Or not really sure what he's doing when it depends on the river, obviously, but yeah, I don't mind my raise here, given that I set up a pot-sized river bet, river shove, and I can rep clubs when they come in, as well as a few other hands.